So in this episode, I'm sharing with you something that's a little bit vulnerable. It's something I don't know a lot about, and I'm also not very good at, which I don't particularly like, but it's an important part of what this whole channel is going to be. So come with me and learn all the things that I don't know about, but hopefully you can help me with. So let's go. So, ducks or chickens? I wouldn't say I'm quite at square one, but I'm maybe at like square 1.2. So something I know in my very bones and have experienced in my own life with my own health and body, and have had the privilege of witnessing in so many clients in the last 10 years as a holistic nutritionist, is the power of food and lifestyle choice. It's so potent, and there's so much healing potential in the choices, the food choices, the life choices we make each day. And being a clinician, I have the privilege of having so much knowledge around nutrigenomics, the gut microbiome, sorting out hormones, liver detoxification, and I'm really competent in it, right? I've been doing this for a while. I know nutritional science. I know what's going to help my clients. I know what's going to help me and my kids and my family. This is what my area of expertise. There's a lot of things in life that I'm pretty rubbish at, but when it comes to food, holistic medicine, it's something I know loads about and I'm competent in it. But like I said at the start of this video, something I am not confident in, but I care a lot about, is growing food. Now, let's rewind a little bit. Over the years, I have become aware, just through my training and clinical work, of the importance, right, of good quality food. The quality of your food that you eat really, really matters. But in the last, 8 years, I've mainly focused on sourcing good quality food through things like veg boxes, buying my meat directly from the farm. And I'm sure I'll talk more about that in future episodes here on the channel. But over the last couple of years, I've realized, you know what? The most or the highest quality food I'm going to get, or the most control I'm going to have over food, is actually if I grow it myself. And I thought it would honestly be fun to try and figure out how to grow some food. And also, I really wanted to show my kids that food doesn't just come from plastic wrappers in a shop, that actually it comes from the land. And that's kind of why I'm starting on this, but it does feel a little bit scary. I am great at the clinical stuff. Give me a complex case with long COVID and IBS and imbalanced hormones. Boom, boom, boom. I know I can help there, but it feels like trying to grow some carrots and broccoli feels like nearly impossible and a little bit vulnerable. So, this channel, I want you to help me, is going to document that, and really my attempts at trying to make my little suburban garden into a mini homestead. Is it possible? Can we do it? Will it be a disaster? Who knows? But let's dive in. Look, I'm a proper YouTuber now. I've got a little, my microphone's got a little hat on it. Anyway, serious. So now that I've got my microphone with its little hat on, let's go and have a look at what is the space I'm working with, what are my rough plans, and also just witness the chaos and mess that is my garden. Hello, real life, 3 little kids. This is what it is. So this is the main area that I'm thinking of, and I've already started in little bits anyway, of making more into our kind of mini homestead. I have the currently, I've just got, I don't even know what it is. The soil is resting. Yes, that is a mini trampoline upside down on my veg patch. Whatever it is, I'll show you, tell you what I did here. But these, I've got 3 different veg patches. These 2 I've had for a couple of years and have attempted to grow some stuff to some success. And this one, I say we dug out last year, my husband dug it out, is a new vegetable patch that we did for potatoes last year. And then we have a decent section here of space. And this is where I'm thinking of putting some chickens or some ducks or something. And I think depending on how many chickens we get, we probably potentially have space, another space here for vegetable patch. The only problem is sun. This gets sun. You can see here, we're only in April now, but you can see the sun is leaving this. In the summer, this gets a decent amount of sun, but because you can see there's a lot of trees in the house next to us, which is really beautiful, it does block some of our sun. And I also have all this awful gravel that I'd love to get rid of and maybe put some beds at the side. Anyway, I really don't know what I'm doing, so all advice would be welcome. But my main project for this year is these 3 beds and then getting some animals for this corner, TBD, and also figuring out some slug protection and probably chicken protection. If we get chickens, we'll need to protect the veg patches from the chickens. If we get ducks, not so much. But how do we, I don't really want to use those chemicals, so how can I keep the slugs off? And one of the things I'm going to try this year, because I've tried lots of things already, is just to do some netting and kind of seal these away, also to keep them away from the kids. But to be honest, everything looks like a complete mess right now, doesn't it? So, you know, real life. My garden, the garden in general, is just a mess. Like kids, toys, I don't know, like a pack lunch. What is that doing there? And obviously it's been there and embedded for at least the entire winter. I find stuff in my garden all the time. I also have these old, this is just a side note, if anyone knows what to do with these, this is old 2 massive tree stumps that were cut down way before we came. Here's some strawberries that we'll attempt to grow. Strawberries do not last at our house. My kids literally pick the green strawberries. So, but you know, they're attempting. I'd love to see if I can, like, I don't know, is there a way to put mushrooms on here? Does anybody know that? At some point, I really want to grow some lion's mane, which I know you can do from a box, but I know medicinal mushrooms like turkey tail and things love a good log. Anyway, if I could plug that in, if anyone knows anything. But you know, so a good space for garden, and it's a typical family garden. We've got a good space, the kids play, they cause havoc, there's horrible gravel, there's lots of weeds. Although, I think I've got loads of dandelions. Look at this. Totally medicinal for this time of year. I'm going to make a tincture out of that. I've got a nettle one going, but I've got lots of dandelions. So there we go. I don't even need to grow anything for those. And then this is my little office where all the magic with my clients happens. That sounds a bit dodgy. It's not meant to. One thing I do know about gardening is that the soil quality is really, really important. So this is me probably in March putting some horse manure, followed by a layer of cardboard, followed by a layer of wool, and then weighing it down with said trampoline and other random bits of crap that I found in my garden. Because healthy soil makes healthy food. So as you can see, I wouldn't say I'm quite at square one, but I'm maybe at like square 1.2. I've got some veg patches in place. For those of you watching this, I'm recording this in mid-April. And if you're in the south of England, you might be like, oh my goodness, Kez, you've literally done nothing. This growing season in Scotland is just much later. I'm in Western Scotland. It's wet. Sometimes this time of year, we go from like snow to sunshine and wearing shorts. So from the limited information and experience I've had, I don't find putting stuff outside is really helpful until May. But I am a little behind also. So the plan is currently I need to gather my seeds. I'll probably start some in the house in terms of growing, and then I'll plug them out probably mid to end of May. Also, I need to make time to do my little slug protection. I think I'm going to do some netting and a bit round over. If you've got any other suggestions, let me know. So that's the current plan for that. This year, I'm going to keep things really simple, grow some greens that I know work really well in Scotland, like kale, rainbow chard. I love rainbow chard. It looks beautiful. It's so great for you. So kale and rainbow chard are on the cards. Potatoes are on the cards. I grew them for the first time last year, and it was like a magical experience. So good. The kids loved harvesting potatoes. So I'm going to try and grow some more potatoes there because I live in Scotland. I feel like we have to grow potatoes. Carrots, I've actually been successful with carrots for the last couple of years. Again, the kids love that, pulling up the carrot, eating it. I find it a kind of magical experience. The slugs also, there's a theme here with the stuff the slugs don't eat. The stuff that I haven't had a lot of luck with is broccoli, cabbages, cauliflowers, and beetroot. Most of those, apart from beetroot, I think maybe our soil isn't great for beetroot, have just been eaten by slugs. So this year, I think I might try and grow those ones. But if you have any experience or wisdom, please tell me. This is like where, like I know, I can tell you all the benefits of eating more cauliflower and rainbow chard and how that's going to impact and support your like liver and detoxification and the antioxidants and how that's going to help with like your glutathione recycling. Not so great at the growing part. And to give myself some credit, I'm not totally behind. I'm chitting, I think it's called. I'm never sure if I'm saying that right, but I'm starting to chit some potatoes next to my son's hammer beans, or beans, whatever. So I get a veg box, a local veg box with different varieties of potatoes. So I've tried to get a couple of varieties in here, start chitting those, and we'll continue to do that. One thing I do want to try and do this year is have a continual harvest of potatoes. Not quite sure how you do that yet. I'll probably use ChatGPT, but we have started with that. Also, another thing we've started to do is doing some foraging and making some tinctures. So I'll share more about this in another video, but in here I foraged for some nettles locally and also some cleavers, otherwise known as sticky willy. And this is just week 1 into the process of making some a medicinal herbal tincture. So there's a little bit of homesteading going on, but it's definitely something I want to prioritize more of. If you'd asked me like 6 or 7 years ago if I wanted to like grow stuff in my garden, I wouldn't have been interested at all. But I think over the last, I don't know, 5 or 6 years, I've really just tried to deepen my connection with nature, as cheesy as it sounds. And I talk to my clients a lot about seasons and cyclical living. And the more that I've done that, the more I've found how nourishing and healing it is to be in nature, to have my feet on the soil, to notice the leaves. This is my favorite tree in the garden. To be honest, the rest of the year it's kind of ugly, but at this specific time of year, I just think this tree is the most beautiful. And then actually, when the leaves come into full flow and blossom, as it were, it's not as pretty as this specific season. So the more I found with my clients and in my online clinic, the more my clients can connect with nature, spend time noticing the small things in nature, the more regulated and calm their nervous system is. And I think this is one of the key things that's missing a lot in the nutrition and health space. People getting super stressed about eating perfectly and restricting food and taking the right things and doing the right exercise, instead of realizing we're not a part of nature, that our bodies, who we are nature itself. And healing comes when we really connect to that cyclical, natural rhythm. And then as a clinician, I've always been so surprised at the power of herbs and plants and the power of food, of nettles here that I'm chopping up for my tincture, the power of having raw carrots to help detoxify estrogen, the power of beetroots to support liver health, the power of really good quality protein to balance your blood sugar and to help detoxification and help you build muscle, the power of really healthy fats to support your brain health. There's so much power in plants, in food, in nature and around us. With over the last couple of months is, what bird do we get? I want to keep chickens for years, but I had 3 kids in 2 years. And so I've just needed to wait until I've recovered and have capacity. And I'm just at the point now where my youngest twins are 4. And I'm thinking, okay, yeah, I actually feel like I could be semi-responsible for another living thing. And so I've always assumed I was going to get chickens, started researching them, was looking at different coops, those kind of things. We definitely have a fox locally. So one thing I'm really aware of is making it really secure from a fox perspective. I also want to try and avoid red mites because I'm lazy and I don't want to be like doing extra cleaning of the coop than I need to. But as a family, we eat loads of eggs because eggs are an incredible source of nutrition, choline, fats, protein, all these kind of things. I also really want my children to understand that food doesn't just come from a supermarket, that actually there's a cycle of life, that a lot of our food comes from animals and how we treat them is really important. I want them to just have a little bit of a connection with where food comes from, why it matters, why animals and caring for them matters, all of these kinds of things, which is why I want to keep chickens. But when I started down that rabbit hole, I read a couple of things online and watched a couple of things even here on YouTube with people saying, no, get ducks. And I love ducks. I think ducks are like super, super cute, but I always assumed you needed a pond, but apparently not with certain breeds. With certain breeds, you just need some water for them to wash their beaks and faces with. So then I went down the rabbit hole of ducks. I love duck eggs, super yummy. They're quite cute, not really a major factor, but also ducks will help keep slugs away from my vegetable patch. So for the last 2 years, slugs have been a major problem. I've had like beautiful beginnings of cauliflower, and then despite my beer traps or my copper tape or my eggshells or my coffee grounds, then they've all just been eaten by slugs. So ducks are really appealing from that perspective, just keeping some of the slugs and stuff away from my veg patch. Downside of ducks, apparently, My sister used to look after ducks, so she said they're stupid and always try to escape, according to him. Other thing is, I live in Western Scotland. It's really boggy and wet here. And with having to replace and give them fresh water regularly, will they just churn up that little patch and it just become a massive bog? I'm guessing they will. Also, you have to put them into bed each night. Whereas with chickens, I've heard, please correct me if I'm wrong, they will tend to put themselves into bed and you can get a coop that has a little magnetic open and shut. Obviously, I'll probably check and all of these kind of things, as I do know there's a fox on our local area. But that makes me think, okay, they actually, I'm a bit forgetful. If we do forget or we do go away for a night or the kids are puking everywhere and I forget to shut them in, the ducks just aren't gonna like stay out. The chickens would put themselves to bed. So, ducks or chickens, if you have experience, even if you don't have experience, feel free to weigh in. Let me know. So, two final things I want to acknowledge before we wrap up. Number one, I really see this as just me getting into a new stage and season of life. You know, for the last 4 years, I've been looking after my three kids. My twins were born when my son was 2. And so it's really been quite an intense season of that stage of parenting. And I've not had any headspace to look after another living thing. But now I feel like I'm slowly coming at a different stage. So I just want to encourage you, if you're watching this and be like, how the chuff am I meant to grow my own food when I can't even figure out what to do for breakfast or dinner? That's okay. Honor the season that you're in and at. There's no pressure here. Part of why I wanted to do this is honestly because it felt like fun. It feels aligned with my values. And also, I'm so aware of the power of creating the right environment with the right data inputs, aka food, into our bodies and how that can really help to heal us. And I have been chronically sick and struggling. And so I know how good it is to feel good. The other part I want to acknowledge is that the part of me was putting this off. I would love to have more land at some point and a really Pinterestable, Instagram worthy garden that's all organized and beautiful. And the reality is, my garden's a bit of a mess. But I didn't want to put this off until the future. The whole when things get older, when I have the land, then I'll do this is a bit of a trap. And that's why I call myself a nutritionist and a coach, because it's knowing what to do, but it's also coaching ourselves so that we can do it. So, this is a bit of my journey in enjoying the process, learning as I go along, and not putting off my dreams until some vague, distant future. Doing what I can now, whether it's making little nettle tincture of stuff that I've just foraged or trying to grow a handful of potatoes and carrots because it feels fun and aligned with my values. It starts now. It starts today. Don't put off feeling good. The world needs you to be as well and healthy and radiant as you uniquely can be. This isn't a dress rehearsal. This is our one precious life. So let's love it, okay?